The unthinkable has happened. Well, it's not really unthinkable, is it? We've been all thinking about it for a couple of days now at the very least. But it was the unhopable, right? But I think we all called the ball game once the CDC recommended no gatherings greater than 50 for 8 weeks. I, in fact, tweeted right then that Black Widow would have to move. Then the White House yesterday recommended, I think it was yesterday, it was in the last day or so, recommended sticking to groups of 10. Oh, the days are blurring together already. But then Regal Cinemas closed, and then AMC followed suit this morning. So even if they were to release Black Widow, there'd be nowhere to play it. So yeah, we knew this was coming. But yes, Black Widow has been officially pulled from its May 1st release date with no new date set. This is because Disney luckily wants to play it by ear. Never too quarantined for a pun. But anyway, they want to be ready to strike when this global quarantine ends. That's tricky, though. That's a moving target. You got to wait for the quarantine to end. And then I was thinking, you also kind of want to have to wait for people to feel it's safe to go to the movies again. They might not rush back to crowded places. Some will. And so I thought maybe a movie could come out right when the quarantine lifts and then just play for months as more and more people dip a toe into the cinematic waters, right? I'm curious, what do you think the return situation will be like? How do you think people will return to theaters? I think it will take even a little bit longer than the actual official quarantine. So you got to really play it beautifully. So that's why I'm sure all these people who schedule movies in Hollywood are like, this is like the most challenging thing we've ever faced. So Disney has not only pulled Black Widow, but they've also, this is a cascading situation. It's like watching when they have a volcano lava, it moves very slowly. It just gets closer and closer to our beloved movie release dates, and they have to move as the lava gets closer. So this also has caused Disney to pull 2 Fox movies. The Personal History of David Copperfield for Fox Searchlight. Well, this is now just Searchlight Pictures. And then Woman in the Window for 20th Century Pictures. Oh, it's hard to say. I like just saying Fox. I think people will probably continue to say Fox. Anyway, those were both also set for May. Interestingly, though, Artemis Fowl is still set for May 29th. Disney is only moving. And Disney is the most frugal, stingy, and also at the same time willing to go right up to the edge and to be able to make money studio. So I think you can really set your quarantine clock by what Disney is deciding. So they feel this could be over by May 29th. And quite frankly, I think Artemis Fowl could be a great canary in the coal mine movie to see if people are willing to go. Because we didn't think anyone was going to go to see that anyway. So let it be the canary and then stick it on Disney Plus and streaming pretty quickly, right? Like they're doing with all the other films. So May 29th right now is a pretty good weekend back at theaters. Right now it's still set to have Artemis Fowl, The Green Knight for May 24, and Irresistible from Focus Features, a division of Universal. There's something for everybody with that weekend. That's a good weekend. It would be, I think Memorial Day is the weekend before. So, maybe everyone can get some fresh air then. We just don't know what's going to happen. It's really, it's crazy. It's mind-boggling to be so in the dark as to what our fate is, our short-term fate. We're doing this to secure our long-term fate. Now, the only other big movies left for the rest of May are Scoob and the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. But if Universal strikes gold by releasing Trolls World Tour online April 10th, that was supposed to be a simultaneous in-theaters and online release, but now that there are no theaters, it will only be pretty much available online. I wonder if Universal will balk. I don't think they will. I think it was a great promise. I think the movie's going to do real well on streaming. So if they do very well there, Universal, I'm sure Warner Brothers and Paramount might follow suit, as this is similar family fare. And there are a lot of kids stuck at home right now. In fact, when I tweeted the Trolls World Tour news, one of you tweeted me right back and said, where can I get this for my kid right now? But of course, what most of you want to know is when are you going to see Black Widow, right? When are you going to be able to finally see this movie? And is Wonder Woman 1984 also in danger of being pulled, which is, as of now, still set for June 5th? So let's start with Black Widow. To be honest, I'm going to be honest with you. I think there's a really good chance Black Widow will take the Eternals November 6th spot, just to give there enough room to make sure everybody feels good about going to the movies, especially because it's a spoilery movie. So you don't want a slow drip of moviegoers. You're just going to ruin it for everybody. And also Disney, the reason these Marvel movies do so well is people see them so many times in theaters. You guys write me about seeing these movies eight or more times. 8 to some of you is a conservative number. So you're not going to do that if you don't want to go as soon as it opens. That's going to eat into your repeat viewing time. So they want to make sure that movie going is good and healthy for Black Widow. So I honestly would move it there. And then the Eternals could take Shang-Chi's date in February, as that movie had to go on hold after a health scare for its director. Now, thankfully, he did test negative for coronavirus. But, I mean, since all of Disney's other productions are on hold now, I think it's unlikely that Shang-Chi has started up again, especially since Australia seems to have a real problem. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson contracted it on another movie set. So I think that Shang-Chi, although I have not seen any headlines that it's on hold, I can't imagine that it's moving forward. I think that the unions would have a word to say about that, for the people working on the movie. In fact, I think a really simple solution, and I think you can see this coming as well, is to shift all the MCU movies back just one release date, as work on all the films, including development and pre-production, has surely significantly slowed down or stopped altogether because everybody's working from home, Hollywood included. So, will Black Widow pop up on streaming? I'm sure some of you are hoping that it will, but no freaking way. This is the one movie of all the delayed movies that I feel confident saying this about. Well, this and Mulan, and then Die Another Day is already set for Thanksgiving. So, also November. Black Widow should run to November as well. Because, I think Die Another Day, MGM is so reliant on overseas box office for that, where streaming is a little bit more difficult and piracy a little bit more rampant. There's no way Die Another Day is going to go to streaming. And it does have an official release date now. But I think that as far as Disney is concerned, both Black Widow and Mulan are likely to make $1 billion worldwide, and Disney is not going to lose that money. They would never be able to, by the way, recoup that, even close, releasing it digitally. It would never happen. I mean, I think, as we discussed on the stream yesterday, the live stream, which are open to all, by the way, during this situation. Anybody can join in the live streams. But Universal is only allowing you to rent their new releases that they're coming out for $20 for 48 hours. You don't get to buy the movies. But how many times are you going to rent Mulan or Black Widow so you can have repeat viewings? You're not, or you're going to illegally copy it. I mean, it's just not, they're not going to do it. Mulan and Black Widow will never debut digitally. It's just too much of a loss for the Disney company. Now, Mulan, unfortunately, had its premiere. That was a real mistake in hindsight, although at the time everybody was like, why are you premiering this movie? You're holding your premiere super early. You might not be releasing it, and Disney went ahead anyway. And now when they do release Mulan, they won't have a big flashy premiere. That's the good thing about delaying these movies. You know, in advance, you can hold the premiere, so you can still make that big splash. For instance, No Time to Die wants to have its premiere in China because China is such a big marketplace, and so it wants to wait till it can do that. So Mulan, unfortunately, it didn't have its Chinese premiere though, so it could always still do that. But it did have its Hollywood premiere, and no spoilers, thankfully, really leaked for that movie, which is like, wow, what a godsend for Disney. I guess, I don't know, there must be nothing particularly spoilery in the movie. Hopefully, it's just real good. But nobody has seen Black Widow yet, and the trailers have given very little away, so it can sit in the vault until the world is ready for it, right? One of my favorite tweets was about Disneyland going to sleep, and Imagineer did it, and it showed that sequence from Sleeping Beauty where they put everyone to sleep to go to sleep with the princess, and I feel it's kind of like how we all are right now. Now, what about Wonder Woman 1984? Talking about princesses, right? With Black Widow down, it's now up to another female superhero to hold the line for the summer movie season. Can she do it? Well, we don't want to hurt anybody, so, and if anybody will acquiesce to the public good, it's Wonder Woman, right? Gal Gadot herself also tweeting about the importance of staying inside. She's so great. But, if it does hold, Warner Brothers, instead of Disney, would be the one to benefit from everyone being stuck at home for weeks on end. Maybe running out to the theater. Again, you want that cushion of, time for people to feel comfortable. That's another reason Warner Brothers might actually consider moving this movie anyway. Now, Wonder Woman 1984, of course, has already suffered one huge delay, which I said was a mistake at the time, but it did need to be reworked apparently, and reshoots were done. And another delay would be a bummer for sure. But I have to say, the movie looks so good. And the first film was such a big hit and so beloved by so many. Plus, thank goodness, talk also about godsends, they didn't show Cheetah yet. They did not show Cheetah. So I think Wonder Woman 1984 could weather another delay. And if some of you have been asking when they're going to have that final trailer, they're not going to have that final trailer for a while, I would think. There were rumors that it would come out soon, but now I think Warner Brothers is going to be unsure if they're even releasing on time. And so I think that you probably wouldn't get a final trailer until May, until they know they're pretty confident in their release date. And that would still be a month out. I mean, we'll see. I mean, they could release it sooner. But if they release that final trailer, they're going to be committing to the date, or they'll be significantly hurting their film by giving too much away before maybe a delay. Now, where would Wonder Woman 1984 go? Well, I really, honestly, if I were Warner Brothers, I would move In the Heights. It's a little close to Tenet, but Tenet's not going to move. And Tenet's also a big blockbuster. That's for mid-July. But I would move In the Heights, which is right before the 4th of July weekend. Now, In the Heights should go to August, and it should go to August anyway, closer to awards season. That's when Crazy Rich Asians came out as well. That's been a good date for inclusive movies. And I really believe In the Heights could be a strong awards contender, and so I actually think June is not a great release date for it. So give that to Wonder Woman and tee up Wonder Woman 1984 for the 4th of July holiday. A perfect match, really, with the Washington, D.C. setting. Now, sure, there's Free Guy and Minions: The Rise of Gru to contend with, but Wonder Woman 1984, I think, can take both those movies. Plus, there should be enough business for everybody if we're in fact post-quarantine by then, like really post-quarantine. Although, as I said, even when the quarantine is lifted, it might take longer for audiences to feel safe to go to a crowded movie theater. So this is a constantly changing situation, which is why Disney has not set any new release dates for any of the films they've suspended. All right, so what do you think? Get your complicated emotions out down below. Subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.